on my lap. Whatever pleases you. Hi, everybody. Welcome or welcome back to Novel Idea. My name is Dia, and today I am going to be doing a weekly review. This is where I tell you about everything that I have read, everything I'm in the middle of, and what might be up next. So, without further ado, let's get started. Right. Okay, I'm gonna lie down. Okay, so let me tell you about what I have been reading. I'm going to go through my nonfiction November reads first, and then I will go through the fiction that I have read and just try to give you a good idea about what I thought about them and what they're about, and give you some options maybe for what you might want to read. That I completed was The Lost Words by Robert MacFarlane. Oop, can you see that? There we go. We'll tip it a little bit. And this was delightful. I absolutely loved this. And I really want to own it now. It is about words from nature that are not used in common everyday language often enough for them to want to include them in a dictionary. And so because they've kind of fallen by the wayside, Robert MacFarlane and Jackie Morris decided to illustrate this book and write words in poem form about those words, to describe them, to tell the younger generation about words that they might hear from their grandparents or might hear from others in their lives and not be able to find in the dictionary. And it was just lovely. And I had read Ring of Bright Water earlier this month with Shelly from Shelly Swearingen, my sweet friend. Isn't that just the cutest? I love it. So Jackie Morris has fast become one of my favorite nature illustrators. I just find her work fascinating. And because of Ring of Bright Water, I ended up, like I said, just seeing otters everywhere, and it's absolutely delightful. I now also have found otter accounts on Instagram to follow because I just fell in love with so much about these little creatures. So this was really fun for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. Like I said, I want to go buy it. I read In the Heart of the Sea by Nathaniel Philbrick, and this is the true story that inspired the book Moby Dick. So it's mainly about Nantucket and the history of Nantucket, because Nantucket was a sperm whale fishing community, and that is basically all that inhabited Nantucket at one time. And so this particular ship, called the Essex, was an older vessel that similar to the Titanic, the owners of it decided to skimp in ways to basically make profits larger. And so they didn't outfit the ship the way that they should have. And as a result of that, there were some things that happened on the Essex that, do you want to come lay down with me? Okay, you need to lie down then and be a good girl. That ended up causing just this national stir. Not very many people from the ship survived to tell the story. And in fact, one particular story was all the account that we had for a very long time, until a happenstance meeting happened and we ended up getting a second account. And the account that we got the second time was from the youngest member of the crew. He was the cabin boy. It was his first time going to sea, and he was about 80 something when he finally felt comfortable giving an account of all that happened on the Essex. And so anyway, it was a fascinating read. It didn't take me a very long time. It is a large book, but it didn't take me very long to read because I was so extremely interested in what was going on. And so I loved it. I like Nathaniel Philbrick's writing. He's not probably my favorite historical writer, but he is still very good, and I really enjoyed it. So the last book that I completed that was nonfiction this week is The Bee, A Natural History. So this one is similar to, it feels very much like a textbook in many ways. So it's a reference is what it is. And I am so excited that that's actually the way that it is written, because I will be referring back to it quite often probably. So it is a little bit about a lot of things, and it covers all different types of bees. It not every single species of bee, but the different types of bees that there are. It covers specific ones within those types. And then it covers things like the sociology of bees. It covers the biology of bees. It covers their roles and what they produce and what that is for them as a colony, as a community. There are solitary bees, which I didn't know that there was such a thing. Did you know that? I didn't know that there were such a thing as solitary bees. I thought that all bees lived in community. So I just found out so much, and I really enjoyed it. It's well illustrated. It's got pictures. So it's really, really well done. It covers their enemies. It covers their lifestyle. It covers what they themselves eat, how they pick those things up. It covers diseases and all of that. But like I said, a little bit about a lot of things, and it never gets so technical that you don't understand it. So bravo, Noah Wilson-Rich. You did an awesome job, and I am so happy that I grabbed this one. All right, now on to the fiction. I also finished this week The Labyrinth of Scions and Sorcery. And this is by Curtis Craddock. It is book 2, Risen Kingdoms series. This is book 2. And this is kind of a Three Musketeers meets science fiction, early science fiction, like maybe like Jules Verne kind of science fiction. Our main character in this book is handicapped, and it is about just this strong woman who is not about to be defined by society and what they will allow women to do in this day and age. And it's just beautiful. She's that way, and yet she is also someone that is deeply loved, who deeply loves other people, who is really good at heart, and who attracts that kind of people to be around her. One of the only books I have ever read that has so many wonderful, healthy relationships across the board. So typical to what Three Musketeers are, it's, you know, it's them working together to thwart assassins and to not be pawns of the wrong kind of people, the wrong kind of rulers and dictators. There are battles and wars within it. I am just wondering how this is all going to wrap up, but this was wonderful. I liked this one even more than I liked the first book, and that's saying something for a second book. I will say that there was one thing that really turned me off. In a conversation, he said, she said, he said, she said. It would be, I'm going to the park, so-and-so said. Okay, that's great, so-and-so said. This is, you know, so-and-so said. And I got really tired of that. But that's my one complaint, you guys. That's my only complaint. And so I am looking forward to seeing where he takes this series. So the first ones that I'll tell you about were all on audio. And these are by Danielle Garrett, and they are cozy mysteries. They're called the 9 Lives mysteries because they are about a magical realm within our world where the familiars of the witches and warlocks have the ability to speak. And this is about one particular cat, and Cora is our witch that we're following in the series. And she owns a magical candle shop. So Celine has come to be Cora's familiar, though, because her witch that she was with for years has disappeared. And there's something about Celine's 9 lives that is linked to being in direct contact with whoever she is the familiar of. So Celine was dying, basically, starving, not being taken care of because her witch had disappeared. Well, the witch that she belonged to previously was Cora's aunt, and her name is Lavender. And so Lavender has disappeared, and Cora is now investigating with Celine the disappearance, and then all these other little mysteries are kind of cropping up along the way. And it's delightful. It's a palate cleanser for me in between other things that I've been reading. They're quick, they are fun, there's lots of little banter, little chirpy repertoire kind of talk, and Celine is very catty. It's fun. It's just a fun series to be reading. So I read books 1 through 4 in that series, and all of them were B+ reads, and I enjoyed every single one of them. I'll probably continue, but my library only at the current time only has books 1 through 4 on audio. All right, and then the next fiction book that I completed was A Rip Through Time. This is by Kelley Armstrong, and I heard about this first from Heidi over on My Reading Life, and she had I think she said that she buddy read this with Britta Bowler, and they both really enjoyed it. And so I thought, well, if the library has it and it's something that I can get, then maybe I will read it as well. I was not aware that it was the beginning of at least a duology. And so I read it thinking that it was going to be a standalone. Anyway, this is about a policewoman who is in Canada, and I think she was out for a run. On her way home, she hears the sound. She goes to investigate it and ends up being pulled like through a time warp kind of thing, where she goes back in time and actually inhabits someone else's story and their body. And she still has all of her memories and everything from her own life in the future, but she is pulled through time, and there is a serial killer that is causing havoc, and she happens to be a maid, inhabiting a maid who is in the household of a brother and sister who are forerunners of forensic medicine. And so it's just a really cool kind of look at what was in the past and her trying to fit into the past. So it was really fascinating. I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving this a B+, and the only reason for that was because I felt like this easily could have been a standalone. It easily could have been something that got wrapped up by the end of this book. And so I was miffed at the fact that it wasn't a standalone, and that is why I ended up giving it the B+ rating. Then the last one that I completed this week was called Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians, and this is by Brandon Sanderson. This is a middle grade kind of mystery fantasy series, and the main character's name is Alcatraz. He goes by Al. It feels a little bit like the beginning of Harry Potter. He's in the Muggle world, so to speak. He's been passed around from foster family to foster family because he continually breaks things or has mishaps that happen when he doesn't mean for them to. And so his foster families get upset because they think that he's, acting out, and that's not at all what he's doing, but because they assume that, they pass him off to another family. And then on his 13th birthday, his grandfather shows up, and he then finds out why all of this stuff is happening and what he is actually called to do. Just this story of this little boy who is kind of at this crisis of character age, and then finding purpose and finding joy and finding life and family in what he is really supposed to be and where he is really supposed to exist. But it still gave me those cozy Harry Potter-esque vibes. And it is the beginning of a series. Again, something that I wasn't really looking to do, but it was available at my library, and I'm actually glad that I started it. They'll be quick reads. I'll get through the series in no time. But yeah, so that was Alcatraz and the Evil Librarians. I gave it an A minus, and I will be continuing with that series. All right, now what am I in the middle of? I'm still reading Diane Ackerman's Cultivating Delight, and I am a little over halfway through it, and I'm loving it. It's wonderful. I love natural history. In case you can't tell by by what I've been reading for my nonfiction November, I just love it. And I have currently at the library several things that I need to pick up. I have In Search of Mycotopia, which is by Doug Bierend, and it is about fungi. It's about mushrooms and other kinds of fungi. I have Lady Farmer, The Guide to Slow Living, and that's by Mary Kingsley. I have The Writer's Map, an Atlas of Imaginary Lands. I have World of Wonders that I need to pick up. I have The Collector by Jack Nisbet. I'm sorry, World of Wonders is by Aimee Nezhukumatathil. I cannot say that. I'm gonna have to look that one up and figure that one out. I have The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Wolleben, and I have What It's Like to Be a Bird by David Silby. So I have all of those at the library that I need to go pick up. I haven't done that yet. But all of those, as you can see, are natural history. And so this is a subject that's just very dear to me, very dear to my heart. And I am excited to be in these worlds. It's making me really appreciate my own world around me very much, even in this season where everything is icy and frozen and there's no leaves on the trees and all of that. It's still bringing me so much joy to walk outside my door and look up into the sky and see the geese flying, and to be able to pick up the acorns that have fallen from the chestnut trees and the oak trees, and so acorns and chestnuts and just the different colors of leaves that are available right now. I'm just loving it. And I don't have woods directly around me, but they are very close and very easy to get to. And so I'm finding that that's what draws me right now more than anything else, is that I just want to be out there. If I'm going to be outside, I want to be where there's water and where there are birds and where there are, different types of trees and all of that kind of thing. So I'm enjoying my nonfiction very, very much. Oh, and I'm also reading a book by Alice Waters, and it is kind of about her journey as a chef and what took her to that place. And she is a woman after my own heart. And so I am thoroughly enjoying it, because Chez Panisse is a restaurant that became famous for having a set menu of only what was available that day at farmers market. And they can do that because they're in Berkeley, California, and things are available year-round at farmers markets in Berkeley. But I love just that idea and that understanding that this is what is fresh. This is what is available right now. Let's celebrate the bounty of each season, of each moment within that season. And that's what Alice is doing in her book. And her book is called Coming to My Senses, and it is just lovely. It's a memoir, and so it does have other parts of her life in it. It's not just about Chez Panisse. It's not just about her slow living lifestyle that happened when she was an adult. It's about growing up, and it's kind of about what brought her to those places. So really loving that. So if I end up getting to the library and am able to pick up these books that I have there, then I will be reading one of those next. I have some more fiction that I could read. I don't know if I am going to, or if I'm just going to focus on nonfiction for the rest of the month. So we will see. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. I would love to know what you are really enjoying right now at the moment, whether it is a book or whether it's something to do with the season or whether it has something to do with family. The twins are not only home, they are thriving, they are growing, and we are just so thankful. It's been so sweet and so much of a weight off of our shoulders and off of our hearts to know that they are really doing well. So that's happening with us. We're preparing for Thanksgiving. My in-laws are coming through town prior to Thanksgiving, and so we're really looking forward to being able to see them. Just a really good season ahead, and really looking forward to all of it, whatever comes my way. So I hope that you guys are in the same place, that you are enjoying your reading, that you are enjoying your life and your seasons at the moment. And I will see you in the next video, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to. Bye.